about you. This cell of ice and fire, what blood ran death, lost in desire, smell of life.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Live and direct on a Tuesday, not a Thursday. Tuesday, special night and time, or same time. Rick Paulton, Ryan Inman, and our guest is down in the waiting room. We're going to bring him on in just a second. But how you doing, brother?
Tired, man. Just a long week, man.
Tired. Right on. Did you get a chance to watch Francesco's film?
Yes.
Awesome. We're going to have him on in just a second to talk about that. Where's that? There we go. Right on. Well, let's just bring him on. We'll introduce him so he doesn't have to sit out there and wait by himself in the back there. So we're going to bring on Francesco DiPento, the director of Pretty Face. How's it going, brother?
Hi, friends. My God, that waiting room was lonely, so I'm glad to be out of it. What's going on?
Oh, you got a cool little background there, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, you should see the Michael Myers wall that's not in the camera's view. It's a whole, like, my room is quite literally a walk-in 80s slasher film. This is the Chucky corner. There's the Jason corner and the Terrifier door and the Halloween shrine wall and then, like, the Scream section. Like, we don't fuck around here. We love it.
Nice.
Can we curse on the podcast? I'm sorry, I do that a lot.
Oh yeah, dude. We don't care.
Oh, fuck, awesome. All right. Yeah, it's crazy in this room. Everyone's like, how do you sleep? I'm like, with the AC on 67.
Mm-hmm. Right. I sleep down here too, and I got like all my stuff.
Yeah. So I really liked your intro. I have to say, you guys are Friday the 13th fans. I get the strange feeling. Yeah, that's our biggest thing is Friday the 13th. A friend of mine from Halloween Haunts 365 whipped that up for us because we have no idea how to do anything technology. We don't know how to do any edits. We're just raw, man. We just put it out there. Honestly, I'm glad I don't have to pretend to know technology then. I feel more comfortable now because same, which is bad because I'm a filmmaker, but whatever.
Well, first of all, thanks for taking the time to join us tonight. I've been hearing about your film for a while.
Of course.
And then I heard that it was on I remember where I heard of it first, but I know I listened to Lauren Marie Taylor and I heard you on there, but I heard about it before that.
We started an Indiegogo for it, which, by the way, if any of our Indiegogo supporters are watching this, we are working on your perks as we speak actively, and they're like pretty much almost done. So that's going to be coming pretty soon. So don't beat me up. And yeah, we started the Indiegogo last, I want to say, I think it was like late April, early May, and it did really well. And that got like a good amount of traction. And I mean, we did an Instagram page. We had as many people talk about it as possible. And I had gotten like a little tiny bit of recognition from being in Terrifier 2. So like I would tell the Terrifier fans about it. And I mean, word of mouth and social media is like your best friend if you use it the right way. So it was probably maybe through like an Instagram like shared post or something because Lauren Marie had shared some stuff as well.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe she told us about it before the podcast because we've met her a few times now.
Yeah. Because she's awesome.
Yeah, she's the best.
Thank you, LT. Thank you.
I figured you were a friend to her because she asked the same thing a few weeks ago when she was on the show. She let one out. She's like, "Oh, can I curse on here?" It was almost the exact same reaction.
Yep. That's how we are.
She's when I was doing my research for her, I seen that she was in your film, and I was like, "Oh, that's right." And it's like, let me see if I can reach out to this guy and get him on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you did. I love talking about things horror and filmmaking. So
it all like coalesced all in one because then we, saw In a Violent Nature, and then that got us talking about her because she was in that, and then he saw, that she was in your film, and then we're like, oh yeah.
Again, don't beat me up. I have not seen In a Violent Nature yet, and I really want to. Like I'm talking like actual top of my list, like before Maxine even, which I'm so stoked about. In a Violent Nature because it just looks great, and because LMT is in it, like I want to see it so bad. It's I kind of missed the opportunity to go see it in the movies in Staten Island, and I would have to go to like Manhattan to see it, which is crazy. I can't even go to Jersey, so I'm kind of trying to see if it comes back around in Jersey for any amount of time, and if not, I might just have to make the trek out to Manhattan because I do want to see it in theaters.
You're speaking Greek to me, but he goes to New York quite a bit, so he knows about all that stuff.
I got he just showed up this time.
Oh, who is that little cutie?
This is Zahn.
Zahn with the run-in.
He just murdered a mouse about an hour ago, too.
Oh, man.
Good job, kitty. Good job. What a little cutie.
Nina Yarrington's watching with us from Bloody Essentials podcast. We're going to be on her show on Sunday, not this past Sunday like I thought.
Me too.
I'm ready to go, and it was like, oh, no, that's next week. I'm like, oh, well, right on. We suck.
That's awesome.
So I don't know if you listen to them, but the Bloody Essentials, they were formerly the Dolls of Horror, and then they spun off into this new thing, and it's really, really cool. So you want to check that out.
No, I mean, I haven't listened to it yet, but I have Spotify, so I'll definitely follow them. That's awesome.
iTunes, all that good stuff. And we're
he's just stealing the spotlight now. Like.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I wanted to be the most handsome one in the frame, and he just keeps coming up and on that. So,
well, you definitely had that before he,
right?
No argument there.
We're not competition for that.
Anyway, shape or form.
So, how did you get into horror? We'll start with the cliche. How did you get into horror question?
I know, my God, how did I get into horror? I feel like so many people like have this. So many horror fans that I speak to, it's the same answer, and I feel like this is a basic answer, but it's true. Like, you kind of just know in your soul, like, horror fans are a different breed. Like, you don't just like. It's not like, well, my dad and my grandpa did it, so then I did. Like, you just like, there's no rhyme or reason. Some of us just have horror Halloween brain. Like, it literally just anything horror or Halloween or, you know, any level of spooky, like, really soothes my soul. So it's kind of like it just happened one day. I can't exactly pinpoint it, but I always really loved Halloween as a kid. It was always my favorite holiday. Like, everyone was like, I can't wait for my Xbox on Christmas. And I was just kind of like, well, I can't wait to put a mask on and scare the shit out of all of you on Halloween. And that just kind of stuck with me till now. And I know it'll continue to. I started watching like the Universal horror classics when I was like, oh my God, like 4 or 5 or 6, like Dracula, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, you know, that stuff. And I was like the 4-year-old kid that was riding around in the middle of this, like August, with a Dracula cape on, like on my bike, just chasing the neighbor kids.
That's great.
And I got into like, you know, Goosebumps and the kid stuff, like the kid friendly stuff. And then when I think I was in like 4th grade, I caught the tail end of Child's Play 2 on like Sci-Fi at my grandma's house. And she was like, oh, I don't want to watch this picture. And I was like, but this is really cool. We have to. And I was like enamored by Chucky. And then I think when I was in 6th grade, I discovered Michael Myers and I watched the original Halloween. And I mean, like, I just graduated to slashers from there. Like, my soul just fell completely in love with this absolute masterpiece of a beautifully shot atmospheric film that is everything a horror slasher film should be. And I mean, it kind of just, you know, it just kind of snowballed from there in a really good way. I started shooting little homemade, you know, horror films on my parents' VHS camera with like my friends. And, you know, they kind of just gradually started to suck less as I got older and got more resources and experience and, you know, quality team members and all that, which I feel like this is what you hear from so many filmmakers, but that's really how it is. Like, when you love horror and you love filmmaking to the you know, to this extent, like, it kind of just, it's in your soul and you just discover it as you go through life. And yeah, so that's how I got into horror. Michael Myers is my holy grail. Like, I love Friday the 13th so much, obviously, especially part 2. But my holy grail, my end all be all is Mr. Shape. Love Michael Myers. Love Halloween.
Absolutely. Oh, we love Michael too.
It's great.
This behind me, this see, I don't know if you could. This is a Michael Myers animatronic, but I just put him in the part 5 gear.
Oh, that's rad. That is so rad.
Yeah, it's actually a Michael Myers part 2 animatronic.
Yeah, that's
I would
a part.
go to the phone and steal that if I could. That's so cool.
Yeah, I actually I gave that to him for Christmas this year.
Well, I want one too. So just my birthday is July 16th. All right.
He works in closeouts at a place, and it was like buried in the warehouse somewhere, and he found it. It was like, can I buy this? And I'm like, they were like, yeah, sure.
That's awesome. Yeah,
it's going on eBay for like an insane amount of money too.
400, 500 bucks. Yeah.
I mean, like, I've wanted a Michael Myers animatronic for a really long time, or not even like just like a life-size standing one, because I just think they're so cool. But I wouldn't just get like a run-of-the-mill Party City Spirit one, because like they're crazy money for like the quality, and they're not screen accurate. They look like cartoon eyes, and it's like just funny. So it's one of my long-term goal, not long-term. I could do it whenever I want, but whenever I get to it, I guess it's one of my goals to make a life-size standing Michael Myers. That would be super rad to just have in my room, and I'd never be scared of robbers. So
now that one that I gave Rick, I did a little background on. It was actually a display model at a Suncoast movie place way back in the day.
Okay.
And it sat in a box for years in a warehouse, and I just found it.
You got to send me like close-up pictures of it after the podcast. Okay. I want to see.
Yeah, we're going to we've been reviewing each one of the Friday the 13th movies, and we're almost done with that. We're about to start on the Halloween movies, and when we do that, we're going to get him back into his Michael Myers getup, and then we'll send you some pictures of it.
Love it.
So, obviously, John Carpenter must have been a huge influence on you in making films, but any other directors that stood out to you?
Oh, big time. I mean, of course. Let's see. I mean, like, honestly, again, like basic answers, but the truth.
Yeah.
Wes Craven, like all the classic guys. Wes Craven. I love Brian De Palma. I love Rob Zombie.
Nice.
I don't know why I blanked on that. Rob Zombie's like one of the biggest, and I was like, oh. But yeah, Rob Zombie. I mean, I just think all of people have like their own unique style of filmmaking, and it's really so like trademark, and I love it. And I kind of try to take a little bit from each one of those. Like, there are some shots where I try to have like those long, lingering single shots, whether it's a tracking shot or a really long establishing shot where you almost forget you're watching a movie. That's which is trademark, John Carpenter. And then like Rob Zombie, for example, very close up in your face handheld, which I also think is really, really cool. Specifically, like let's say like The Devil's Rejects, where the girl comes out of the hotel room and he's basically chasing her with the camera. Like, I think that's so cool and so in your face, almost like a claustrophobic way. So I try to do that. I try to have my DP do that when, for certain things when I want to feel like in your face and gross and close up. So yeah, definitely those guys. Like I said, Halloween is obviously my holy grail, my favorite of all time. Terrifier 2, obviously the franchise, which I know I'm biased because I quite literally like died in one of them, but they're really great. Like, I mean, I feel like they really opened up a door to show like crazy, explicit, incredible, violent gore in movies in a way that we had kind of shied away from in the later 2000s and the mid 2000s. And I feel like Damien Leone wrote like this movie and kind of was like, you know what, let's not pull any punches. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fuck all the censorship and all that shit. Let's do eyeballs and intestines and slashing and everything and just show it all for the gore whores. And I think since then it's really become popularized. So I was like, all right, we're gonna draw some inspo from that too, and I'm gonna write some gore into this. So yeah, there are just so many films that have influenced like so many little aspects of Pretty Face. And besides just like Halloween, like even like The Mask, we had spoken, I think, about Alice, Sweet Alice briefly. Great.
Yeah, I text you about it because you had brought it up on Lauren Marie Taylor, and I'm like,
yes,
let me get this. I got nothing going on. Let me get this a watch. So I got some. If it comes up, I actually know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
really good movie, man.
Yeah,
really
it's
movie.
the symbolism in the film and like the themes and that whole children pay for the sins of their parents theme you got going. Like, it really was such a well done, genuinely creepy film with a unique looking killer. And my two of my favorite masks in like horror film history of all time are the Alice, Sweet Alice mask and the Michael Myers mask. So I feel like the Pretty Face mask is like kind of like a crossover between, look at this guy, look at how handsome he is, you know?
He's
it's
awesome.
kind of like a crossover between the two, because you have the Pretty Face makeup, but then like you have the realistic, fleshy, you know, expressionless creepiness, you know?
A glammed up Bill Shatner.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's funny. This is actually like, I didn't mold this or anything. I'd love to lie and say I did, but I'm not that talented.
Well,
I
whoever
went.
did a fantastic job. I'd like to own one. I
Oh,
love
thank
it.
you. So I went to Party City actually, and I bought two of them, and I got this mask. I think it's like I forget what the line of masks were, but I saw this really creepy mask, and I was like, "Oh, that's a creepy, fleshy, plain woman's face mask," and it had long hair and no makeup on, like it was a
Yeah.
bare-faced woman's face mask, and I took it home. And I said, I'm going to call you Pretty Face. And I snipped the hair and cut it into like a shorter, hairstyle and gelled the hair to the side and caked the face in like Dollar Tree makeup and put lashes on it. And I said, that's my baby. And that's that. Pretty Face.
I actually thought that was that was your hair in it.
No, but thank
You thought it
you.
was real hair.
Good to know. That's good to know because it kind of throws you off because that's not what my hair looks like.
No, not at all.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, you were in Terrifier 2.
Yes.
Refresh my memory. Where were you at in there? You
So
said you got killed, so I should know who you were.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It was like so quick. So remember the Clown Cafe in the.
Oh yeah. I know where you were. Okay, yeah.
So I was on the swing and I was in the yellow.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking
Blown
about.
away, bam, just like that. So it was arguably like 9 of the best days of my life. Great.
Oh
time.
yeah, no, he's not a big Terrifier fan. I made him watch one of them to be reviewed. He just wasn't his cup of tea. I really liked it. I just like how scary. Dude's pretty scary. David Howard Thornton, he's awesome.
Yeah, it really is scary and it's very, very dread-inducing. Like the pizzeria scene in the first one, for example, the Halloween store scene in the second one. Like the explicit gore is absolutely disgusting and incredible and beautiful the way that it's pulled off. But I think some of the scariest scenes are the most simple, where you just see the clown lurking around and like you don't know what's gonna happen. And I think that's so cool. So I definitely I like Art. I think, again, I think he's the real deal. I think he's going up on the Mount Rushmore of slashers. He's making waves. I really feel like he is the slasher of the 2020s. And it's just a fantastic job they did. And not to mention, being on a set like that was super inspiring to me,
Yeah, and he was able to do a whole lot with a little, and he's bringing back practical effects, which, we need to get away from all the CGI and, really make stuff with your hands.
I am such a believer in CGI. Sometimes it's necessary and sometimes it's useful. Practical effects all day. And when I am something I learned from Terrifier and Pretty Face is the use of VFX to complement the practical effects. If done right, you don't know that there is any visual effects. I have to shout out my editor and visual effects guy for Pretty Face, Josh Petrino. He is the visual effects guy on Terrifier 2.
Oh, nice.
And I believe 3. He's so incredibly talented and fantastic, and it smooths over the practical effects. So it's they already look amazing, but they look fucking perfect after, so the combo of VFX and practical effects is so beautifully done in the Terrifier films.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. See, my thing is this. I'm glad that those films have been successful, though, even though they're not my cup of tea.
Of course.
Because they're so successful and everybody talks about them, it'll inspire other people to give people money to make more horror movies. So
yes.
So it is, even for me who doesn't enjoy those films for what they are, I still appreciate them and I'm glad that they exist.
I mean, I 100% know what you mean because I can say the same for most found footage films. I'm not
a fan either.
The Paranormal Activity franchise, I'm not a fan personally. I don't super enjoy them, but I'm happy they did well, and I really respect them because they did a huge thing for the horror genre. And you can take a freaking whatever camera and just make a found footage film. And I know that was very inspiring to a lot of people, and I know it opened a lot of doors. Even the Blair Witch Project, it's not
that one I liked. I don't like most found footage, but I did like that.
So did I.
You know what? It wasn't my cup of tea, and I've been meaning to revisit it as I'm older. But I give it the respect it deserves because it really was a game changer. And if something's not my cup of tea, I can still respect it for being the game changer it was. Like Saw, for example. Surprisingly, I like it. I had a good time with the first 3 that I've seen, but I'm not like a crazy diehard Saw fan. But I do respect what it did for the genre. Like it was the beginning of an era. So
to me, what Saw, the first and the last one were the best ones. The last one's really good.
Yeah,
Saw and the first one it was just so different and never been touched and just amazing. The first one's amazing. It's an all-time classic, I think.
Absolutely, it's not one of my like repeat watches, and it's not a comfort film to me like any Halloweens or the Jasons or the Freddy or the Chuckies, the Screams, but I definitely I give Saw the respect it deserves because what they did with a low budget and one freaking room, is like insane. Like that's incredible. If you can do so much with practically nothing, it's always the films that were started with practically nothing that I've at least seen go on to become some of the most iconic. So
I agree with you that one's not rewatchable as much as the other like classic films are because the big thing is the twist, and once you know it,
Yeah, I think as far as replay value goes in a film, I think atmosphere is so important. Like nostalgia and atmosphere, and Halloween has that simple October autumn night in a small town when you're a kid, chilly breeze in the air, like lingering shadows in the streets, leaves falling atmosphere. Like it just hits the nail on the head, and like Friday the 13th nails that old-fashioned camp slasher atmosphere. Elm Street nails that small town, kids in high school, California, convertible.
It's Ohio.
Yes, Ohio, but it was shot.
Ignore the palm trees. It takes place in Springwood, Ohio.
I always forget that it's in Ohio because of how California it feels, but that's not a bad thing.
No, it was shot in California, and they have palm trees all over the place. But
it has just the same charm. And I also feel that
Wes is from Cleveland, and Springwood is basically like Cleveland. So
yes. Yeah.
But believe you me, we do not have palm trees or dudes that look like Johnny Depp just walking around here.
No, we don't.
All right, so I guess I'll cancel my flight. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I feel the same way about some a couple, like they're known, but they're not as known as like the big ones. I feel the same way about like Prom Night and like Slumber Party Massacre. I love those films. It's got that summery, atmospheric, kids hanging out, like just when you can hit that atmosphere on the head, you got something. You really got something.
Yeah, Halloween's one of the ones, the original. I'm a bigger fan of it than Rick is. I have to watch it every year.
It is. I mean, I watch it throughout the year, but every October I have to watch it. It is literally like my top #1 favorite film of all time. Halloween and Hocus Pocus are like it for me on in terms of atmosphere. I know Hocus Pocus is like a slasher or horror.
Yeah,
but
talk about two sides of the coin.
Yeah. In terms of Halloween atmosphere, oh my God, is it incredible. Nice. I have this tradition with one of my best friends where like every single year on Halloween Eve, we carve pumpkins and we watch the original Halloween and the original Hocus Pocus. Because like how much more can you nail the atmosphere of what you want to feel like on that day?
Oh, absolutely.
I got to ask though, since you brought it up, what did you think about the sequel?
Hocus Pocus 2. So I went into it with an open mind. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I liked it for what it was. If I had gone in expecting the original magic of 1993's Hocus Pocus, I would have said, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
But I went in saying, I know that it's quite literally 3 decades later, and so much time has passed, and you don't have a lot of the OG cast, and it's not possible to recreate the magic of the original. So I kind of accepted that and then watched it. And I was like, oh, like this was a cute, fun, witchy Halloween. Like this was good. You can't say it wasn't atmospheric and well shot and Halloween. Like it was great. The set design was great. Again, the first one is unmatched and there's never going to be that magic recreated, but I really did enjoy it for what it was. And I feel like I could say the same about the new Halloween trilogy, the David Gordon Green trilogy. Everyone watched 2018 and Kills and especially Ends and was like, this is nothing like 1978. And I was like, that's because it's 2018. Right. That's because it's 40 years later. You're not going to get 1978. You're not going to get that accidentally captured magic 4 decades later. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
So I believe they tried, and for what they tried, I think they did great.
I
I
like the new trilogy. I'm in the minority. I even like Ends.
Me too. Me too. I love 2018. Kills is my absolute like favorite Halloween sequel next to Halloween 2.
Okay.
And Ends was great too. I had a great time with it. I get why a lot of people didn't like it, but I also appreciate what it did. And as somebody who is such a hard Laurie Strode stan, like I love Laurie. She has such a big place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Ends.
See, for me with Ends, because I'm a giant Part 5 fan, Friday the 13th Part 5, hence the name of the podcast, hence Roy behind me. But I think it would have been better if it was after the trilogy. If Ends was like the final chapter in Friday the 13th and they killed Michael Myers in Ends and it was still about Michael Myers, and then they went on to the, hey, is this new guy Michael Myers the imposter Roy kind of deal. And I think that would have been cooler if it was the next movie. But I really did like it. And I like the whole trilogy. What was your favorite Halloween movie besides 78? Because 78 was your favorite, I assume.
I mean, 78 to me is like, you can't really, it's not touchable. 78 is
you just said
in my opinion. 78 is like comparing something to like Jesus. I feel like you just can't.
Yeah.
So my favorite, not counting 78 that's untouchable, is absolutely the original Halloween 2. I think it's such a fantastic film. It's such a good pickup from the OG, and it's like a shift in tone, but it doesn't totally change. It's the same night. It's believable that it's the same night. It is a change in scarier than one, I think. It is absolutely terrifying, and Michael Myers looks the sexiest he has ever looked. It is so... Like, he's so dirty and shot up and just really angry and ready to fuck shit up. And I just thought Dick Warlock did such a fantastic job as Michael Myers with the robotic movements. And I think it's the most imitatable Michael Myers walk. And I think it's great. The kills, the chase scene, like, it's just absolutely horrifying. Every aspect of it. The score is amped up. It's just like they took one and were like, let's do one, but give it a bunch of steroids and speed. And that's Halloween 2. And I love it. And I actually had a really cool experience at a Monster Mania convention, which is like one of my favorite horror conventions. In March, I went dressed up as H2 Michael Myers. I did like a screen accurate painted mask and the scalpel and the bullet hole filled coveralls. And I went with my best friend, Steph, and she was Laurie.
Nice.
In the hospital gown and everything. And so I met Dick Warlock, Halloween 2 is the shape, and he gave me like a little lesson on how to do the Michael Myers walk. And it was like a thing, and everyone was like cheering, and we hugged, and it was like a dream come true. It was so great. He was so cool.
That is amazing.
It was a really great time. And then they had like a cosplay contest on the stage. And we walked up on the stage, and like she like pretended to shoot my eyes out, and I had like blood, like a little blood squib in my hands, and I put it on my eyes, and the whole crowd was like, I was doing the whole and the whole crowd went wild. Like, it was the true Halloween 2 fans were really cheering it up, so it was a really cool experience.
Oh yeah, you could definitely see in Pretty Face a lot of Michael Myers influence for sure in your movements, and because you play the killer in the movie, right?
Yeah, me and my good friend Scott Clausen actually as well, who is the prop master on Terrifier and Terrifier 2. Fun fact.
Right on.
Yeah, Scott's great.
Now, I picked up right away Halloween influence in the music. It gave me kind of a Halloween vibe.
Yeah, so the big influence for Pretty Face's score was definitely Halloween, A Little Nightmare on Elm Street, and It Follows. Actually, I love It Follows. It's one of my favorite. So much. It is one of the best horror films to come out of the 2010s.
I agree.
And it's funny. The score for Pretty Face was kind of like an accident. So I met my composer Ray, who Ray Magnuski is super talented composer. Literally lives up the block from me. I was running on a jog one night, and I literally ran past this house like up the street, and they had Jaws playing on like a projector outside, and I was like, "Hi, can we be friends? Because you guys are cool." And I was like, "I'm a massive horror fan. I love this shit." And he was like, "Oh, same." And this was in like 2020 when it was like illegal to breathe on each other, so you had to do things at home.
Yeah.
I was like, what's your favorite movie? Like, what's your end all be all? He was like, Halloween. I was like, okay, so we just became best friends.
Yeah.
And we had since stayed in touch. And I had, flash forward a couple years later to last year. I told him about Pretty Face, and he was like, like, I'm in a band. I can compose like a score for you, or I could try. You could see if you like it. And I heard the word band, and like I wanted like a synth score, like the Pretty Face score.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking It Follows. And I'm like, band. I'm thinking like drums and guitar. I was like, I mean, if you want, you could try giving me something. And I didn't think he was really going to do it. And then like 2 days later, I get like a audio note from him, and he's like, hey, this is, I came up with a little bit of a snippet for a Pretty Face score. If you want, you could listen to it. And at first it started off with this piano key that I wasn't huge on, but I really liked the melody. But the piano as an instrument, I was like, but then the synth kicked in, and I was like, oh shit. So I noted him back, and I said, hey, I love everything about this, but if you could just change the piano the piano, keep the melody, change the piano to like, I don't know what you'd call the instrument because I'm not like a composer, but I was like some synthy that you would hear in an 80s slasher movie. He goes, okay. And he sent me another snippet, and I listened to it, and I was like, I love you. This is the Pretty Face theme. And that's how it happened. So he did the score, and I literally sent him a bunch of clips. I sent him It Follows music. I sent him some Halloween music. I sent him some Elm Street music, and I sent him some music from the 2004 slasher film Malevolence, directed by Stephen Mina. It's a bit lesser known than it should be because it's really fantastic. But I sent him those 4 scores, and I said, I want chase music, I want kill music, I want a main theme. I said, go crazy. And he sent me back a bunch of shit, and I was like, wow, I love you. And then I was like, how would you feel about doing like an 80s, like a retro 80s sounding pop music song for a scene or two? And he said, say less. And he came up with 2 songs, and it was like magic. I mean, the talent, I was blown away. And I've had so many people tell me like Pretty Face was great, and there were a bunch of different aspects. People loved the kills, the acting, the cinematography, but not one person has complimented me so far and not brought up the score. The score is great.
Score is great. I mean, the whole thing is great.
I think it was my favorite thing about it, actually.
Oh my god,
Ryan's been in bands, and he plays music. He's a singer in a death metal band.
That's awesome.
Well, was in another life.
No, but that's.
But he's always noticing music, and that's always a big thing to him.
Listen, that's so good to hear. And honestly, like, music is the heart and soul of a film. I think John Carpenter said that, actually, and it really is, because I've seen so many films that, like, I'm like, this movie's actually not the best, but the music is so good that it makes the movie so good and has atmosphere and replay like value. And then I've seen movies where I'm like, this has so much potential and could be so great, but the score is horrible. Like, it's the saddest thing in the world.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Carpenter who he is like him being a musician, and just the atmosphere and the feeling that you get of the way the score is.
Yes, like I was in the car like recently, like driving home one night, and it was raining, and I just started listening. I put on the Fog theme, and I was like in heaven. I was like, thank you, John Carpenter. Like, this is so good. Sarah.
That's awesome. So, is there any plans on getting this movie turned into a feature?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Because that's what we need. We need more of this, because in the 10 minutes or 12 minutes or however many minutes it was, we didn't really get enough of why Pretty Face was doing what he was doing and things like that. But
I mean, hey,
I'm so intrigued by the character, though. That's
the point, for you guys to say, hey, we want more. We want to know things, and I can say, okay, well, here's the Indiegogo for the feature if you want to know.
Hey, we're definitely donated as soon as it goes up. I'll tell you that much.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a little bit of a ways out. Like, the script is still in development. I basically know what's going to happen. There are some big decisions I'm making in regard to how much I want to give away, and like I really was thinking in my crazy thinking a million steps ahead brain that I wanted to make a Pretty Face trilogy, because I do love a good trilogy, but I feel like the Pretty Face story could truly be wrapped up in 2 films. Like, I feel like the Firefly trilogy, for example, it was so good with just corpses and rejects. Mm-hmm. And 3 from Hell's great, and I'm glad it exists, but it like wasn't necessary. and Rob Zombie, if you're watching this ever, don't beat me up. But like, it was great, and I'm glad it was made. But like, Corpses and Rejects was enough, so I want to do just enough so where people like love Pretty Face and he can be
Right.
iconic.
See, I never seen 3 from Hell. I've heard so many negative things about it that I didn't.
You know what? It wasn't Corpses and Rejects. It was good, but it wasn't. Like it was. I just feel like because Corpses and Rejects gave us so much and just enough, it was like I wouldn't have done it, but then he did it, and I was glad he did because I was like, this is cool. Like we didn't need it, but I'm glad we got it in that way. So I definitely, I'm just thinking about some big things with Pretty Face, but the script is absolutely in development. And again, to our Indiegogo donators and supporters who got a perk, I will not be launching an Indiegogo and asking you for your money before I give you the perks from the short film Indiegogo. I promise. Who does that? That'd be a dick move.
I've seen it done.
But stay tuned because that is absolutely in development.
Awesome, man.
I've got some real cool kills, in my brain and some really cool atmospheric scenes. And I told this to Lauren Marie Taylor. I absolutely want to have her back. So, Lauren, if you're watching this, if you want to be back, you're back.
She was the highlight of In a Violent Nature, and we're not just saying that because she was on her show.
Sure.
I mean, it was she had like about a 5-minute monologue thing. More. Yeah, I mean, like most of the lines, she had more lines than anybody in the movie, and really added a whole bunch to it. Was awesome.
Her and Ginny are the 2 highlights of Friday the 13th Part 2 for me. Honestly, I loved.
That's his favorite final girl.
Yes. Laurie Strode is my favorite, but Ginny is my favorite Friday girl. Hands down, like no contest. She'd fuck everybody else up. Respect. She did. She would. Yeah, so I mean, absolutely. And I've got some really cool kills in this brain here.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually written out on paper, but I've got some really cool kills in mind that I would love to do. And again, that is such a big part of that is the influence that Terrifier had on me. Like, let's show explicit gore and not pull punches and not fuck around, I've got some really cool kills in my brain, and I'm not going to give anything away, but all I'm going to say is eyeballs and intestines, baby. That's it.
Yeah. Well, we had that in the short.
Yeah.
Eyeballs and intestines.
I'd love to know, like, what did you guys think of the kills? Would you like anything you thought of anything? Please share. I love that.
No, I really liked the gore in the film for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. No, everything looked really good, man. It was really good, and I'm imagining on a very, very micro budget. I mean, I don't know what the budget was, but I imagine it wasn't a Hollywood budget. That's for sure.
The budget was
who did the effects or the.
So the budget was about 10 grand.
Okay.
We did the Indiegogo. We launched it with the goal of 10 grand. And I mean, we just got so much support and love and shares and all that. We ended up, I think before like the fees and all that stuff, raising like 13 grand. So we ended up being like 10 or 11 grand. And so of course the SFX, I have to shout out my incredibly talented friend, Jill Catalfo. Her Instagram is at Skrilled by Jill or Kill Jill. It's Jill with 1 L. She's so fantastic. That was her, like, I think first job.
Oh, really?
Out of graduating makeup SFX school, if I'm not mistaken. Jill's great. She gave me exactly what I wanted, knew exactly what she was doing. Like, I barely had any notes for her, honestly. Like, I was, like, so amazed. And not surprised, because I know how talented and hardworking she is, but I was so amazed at the work. And I have to give a shout out to Josh Petrino, who assisted in, I think it was 2 or 3 of the kills. He was absolutely fantastic. And Bree Core also assisted in, I think it was pretty much all of the kills and all of the makeup SFX. Jill also did like the regular just makeup and all like, the casual like looks for people. So, I mean, Jill really, really made the gore and Pretty Face what it is. It was like, I was just so like, I was like, all right, so we're gonna do a bleeding neck wound, we're gonna do intestines, we're gonna do an eyeball thing. And
the eyeball thing was awesome.
I'd go and do what I had to do and make sure everything was all set, and I'd come back in like a half hour, and I'd be like, "What do you got for me?" And she'd show me, and I'd be like, "Yo!" Like it was, you know, it was great. I was geeking out over the work that she was doing, really. So yeah,
Right on.
we had
Yeah,
a
there
lot.
was a lot of blood for 14 minutes or whatever.
Hey, listen, that's what we're going for, because at the end of the day, like I just feel like there are so many things where you're like, I wish that gave us more. Like we didn't want to pull any punches, and like I said with Terrifier, such a big reason I feel like Terrifier was so successful. Yes, the atmosphere, the likability of Art the Clown, and the uniqueness, but like the gore, like it pulls no punches. If you are a gore whore, Terrifier is for you. Said with Pretty Face, let's not pull any punches. Let's kick people in the throat. Like let's really do this. Let's do eyeballs and intestines. Why not? You know. And if you don't like it, too bad. Look away. Like, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. So how did the whole All Hallows Eve thing come to be? I mean,
Oh gosh. Really just knowing the right people and having an incredible team and an incredible bunch of friends. Because the two producers of Pretty Face are Jess Dubois and Britt Godish.
mm-hmm.
Fun fact, Jess is in Terrifier 2 in the school scene, and Britt is actually killed in the Clown Cafe with me. She's the flight stewardess who gets shot in the head. And she's also the graphic designer of Terrifier 2 and 3. Britt is incredible. She is so amazing with graphic design and everything that she does, and just like I could text her I need something at 3 a.m. and I got it at 5 a.m. Like, and the same with Jess. Jess is so incredible and hardworking, and she will go to bat for you, and she will run around the set like a chicken without a head, making sure everything's perfect. So my two producers, Jess and Britt, shout out to y'all. Y'all are incredible. So Jess is one of the producers, and she is through Jess I met, or it might have actually been at the Terrifier 2 premiere, but Jess really introduced us, me and Josh, the VFX slash editor of Pretty Face and the VFX on Terrifier 2. Josh is really, really close with Steve Uncle Creepy Barton. He is one of the producers of Terrifier 2 and All Hallows Eve as well, and All Hallows Eve Trickster. He's absolutely incredible. So because I know Josh and I know Steve, and I think Josh said to Steve, I know you're looking for another film for All Hallows Eve Trickster. I got one for you. It's called Pretty Face. It's like, give it a watch. And one thing led to the other, and that's how we ended up getting into All Hallows Eve Trickster. And Steve does this really incredible thing where he's like, I want to give filmmakers who have never really seen light of day at that capacity a chance to be like on something streaming and real, and not just run the festival circuit and have that chance, like, you know. So Steve did that for me. Josh did that for me. Jess did that for me. And it was really, really an incredible opportunity to have, and to still be streaming on there and have people messaging me, hey, I just saw you on too. Like, that was great. Like, that's such an incredible feeling. Honestly, it really, really is. Again, my whole team is so hardworking. Another fun fact, the DP of Pretty Face and the co-director, Faye Johnson, is also in the Clown Cafe with me and dies. So a lot of Terrifier 2 people are involved in Pretty Face, and he's fantastic. He's one of the most hardworking, incredible DPs that I've ever seen, running around like a chicken without a head to make sure that Pretty Face looks as great as it does.
Right on.
And the original Terrifier first became known from the first All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the craziness about it all, is like I'm like, wow. Hopefully we can somewhat follow in that pattern, you know.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for you for sure too, because like I said, I gotta see what makes Pretty Face tick, man. You know, I gotta see what made him who he is and the whole backstory. I really gotta get that.
Absolutely.
One thing I did notice in the film, though, is you could tell that you're a hardcore 80s, 90s slasher guy with the Easter eggs that you slipped in there here and there. Like the one character's name was Wes Burrows.
Yep.
Wes Burrows. And what was that? There was a Damien the Trick-or-Treater, I assume was named after the Omen.
No, that was actually No, it's Damien Leone because I just love
Oh
it.
yeah, it's a terrifying thing. I should have known that.
And, you know, just being on his sets and seeing how hard he works and what he made happen with what he had. Like, so that was my little thanks for being such an inspiration. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally missed that. I should have thought of that because of the Terrifier connection.
But it's funny. Damien Leone is actually named after the Antichrist Damien. So I guess.
Oh, awesome! Cool. That's cool.
Right.
So, besides your film, what was your favorite part of the Trickster?
Oh my god. You know, that's such a hard question because like they're all so atmospheric and well done and so Halloweeny. I really like, I think it's the one that's before mine. It might be the first one. The kids are all trapped in the house.
Yeah, that's the first one.
They're all trapped in the house and there's like ghosts in the house and it's on Halloween and it's like the 1950s when they go back in time, and I don't remember too much about it, but it was like the murder. I think there was an axe murder. I really thought that one was really well done just in terms of the atmosphere. I thought that was so cool. And I think it would make for a great feature, honestly. I thought that was dope.
The one I really dug was the one that started in like the Old West with the shapeshifter chick thing.
Yep.
And
that was another good one. Yes, absolutely. It was like a little bit of a change in scenery from suburban Halloween. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it, like just from start to finish.
Yeah, I agree. Like I really can't even sit here and say like, oh, I gotta kind of promote it and say it's good because they put my movie in it, so I gotta be nice. Like it really is an awesome anthology feature film. Like,
yeah, I dig anthologies. Like a Creep Show guy and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you guys like Trick or Treat and Tales of Halloween? As
Tales of Halloween I have yet to see, but Trick or Treat I loved.
Oh my god.
Tales of Halloween, I'm writing that down here.
So watch it. Adrienne Barbeau narrates it.
Oh, I love Adrienne Barbeau.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely.
Huh. Yeah, I never seen that, but I did like Trick or Treat. I seen that. That was awesome. We went to we seen that drive-in last year. Was it last year? I don't know. Our drive-in does this really cool Halloween thing where one screen has like 4 adult movies and the other side would have 4 kids horror movies, and they're always old school movies. It's awesome.
My one of my bucket list goals, which it's crazy that I have yet to make this happen, is to go and watch the original 1978 Halloween in a drive-through. And I just think in the fall that would be such a nice, fun, atmospheric thing to do.
Well, they've actually played that one quite a few times. You know, I think they own a print of it. That's why they run it so much. But,
They do.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
One year we got the best was we got like Halloween, we got the first Friday, the first Nightmare, and I forget what the 4th movie was, but I didn't make it to the 4th movie because I'm old.
All right, me too.
Wasn't it Child's Play?
It may have been.
I think it was Child's Play.
Oh, I would have stuck for that. I love Child's Play. I got Chucky right over there. Chucky's
What'd you think of the new one? Because me and him we're doing a show at Nina Yarrington, like we were saying, and it's about remakes. And what did you think of the new one? I just watched it the first time the other day.
The Child's Play remake. Let's see. You know, I can't sit here and say it was a bad, unenjoyable film. It had some really cool kills. It's had some good gore. It was a cool, fun movie about an AI killer doll. But I'm going to be honest, it's really like, I think goes to show that people need to stop cashing in on the title of something that's classic and successful and just do their own fucking thing. Because if you change the look of the doll and the name of the doll a little bit, it could have been its brand new own thing, like Megan, for example.
Right.
You know, like imagine calling Megan like Bride of Chucky Comes Back. Like that's crazy to me. Right. You know, like why are you going to try to brand something as cool and original as Megan as Bride of Chucky? Like why would you try to brand something as cool and original as an AI buddy doll as Chucky? Like, you know, I just think Chucky is such a classic and such a staple in slasher history. Like I didn't get why they wanted to make that a Child's Play remake when the Child's Play franchise is still very alive and healthy and, you know, very much still cranking them out. There was just no reason for me that it had to be a Child's Play remake. It really could have been its own thing and not a remake, and started a whole new franchise and added a new killer doll to the mix and gotten the love and respect it deserves, because I thought it was cool as its own thing. But if we're gonna sit here and call that Chucky, I'm gonna quote Mariah Carey and say I don't know her. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It was really hard to get past the look of the doll and things, but there was some good parts of it too. It just, like you said, if it was anything but, it might have been a good movie. If it was a different, they didn't try to make it part of this, this thing.
Absolutely.
It had a weird feel to me, like all around. Like, and I love Aubrey Plaza too. I just don't think that role was for her.
And then we had hey, Kevin Ellis in the house. What's up, man? The Spooky Picture Show podcast. Did I get it right twice in a row?
Yeah.
All right, right on. Yeah, they just dropped a surprise episode. They usually go once a month, but they got a second episode this month that dropped today. So they are doing awesome things.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
They got a really good podcast. It only comes out once a month, but it's like four guys and four people talk about horror, and they are all most of them are involved with like doing things on like horror DVDs. Like the one dude worked for like Anchor for a while, and like things like that. And he's actually directing, Michael Felsher. He's directing the documentary that's coming out about Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're a fan of Jason Goes. Even if you're not a fan of Jason Goes to Hell, it might be worth it to watch the documentary to see what.
I'm not a fan. It's a guilty pleasure, honestly. It's ridiculous. It's fun. How do you not love it? How do you not have fun with it? If you want to, again,
it's his least favorite movie of all time.
You know what? If you go in and I really feel like, listen, like respectfully, like the first 4 Jason films or Friday films are untouchable. Part 1 I feel like is like the OG. You can't go wrong. And it's got that low budget campy slasher feel, like to the nth degree. And then part 2 is where I feel like it really found its footing. Part 3 is a lot of fun and cool in 3D. Ooh, ah. And then you get part 4, the final chapter, which is if I had to show a person the quintessential Jason film to really say, this is what a Jason film is and should be, I would say the final chapter, bring it on. The final chapter is awesome.
That's literally what I said when we reviewed it long form. That was my closing thought.
Yes, absolutely.
Like almost word for word.
Excuse me, allergies. Oh my god. Absolutely. If I die on this podcast, I'll be so mad.
We can't have you doing that.
It would be fitting though, right? Podcast about horror. But yeah, it was. I would definitely say. And I like part 5. It's grown on me. I don't love it, but it's kind of like it's sad. It's kind of no fault of its own because the MPAA just butchered all the gore, so you didn't get what you got in the first 4. 6 is awesome. 6 is cool. It's goth, campy as fuck. I actually met the director very briefly at a horror con, and I was like, dude, part 6 is fucking awesome. And he was like, oh, thanks. He was really, really sweet.
Tom McLaughlin, right?
Yeah, he's
really sweet guy, yeah.
Fucking cool.
And then 7's fun and ridiculous, and 8 is fun and ridiculous.
8 is bad.
8 is really bad.
But again,
I watch it still. Don't get me wrong. There's some things I do like about it.
Jason X as well, ridiculous and fun.
We like that one.
Jason X will be reviewing on the podcast on Thursday. Actually, that's the last one because we didn't do them in order. We started with like the odd numbers, and then we just after the second or third odd numbers, we got to finish all the odd numbers before we do the first numbers, and we went back and it was all over the place. So when we finish that up on Thursday, we're gonna do Jason X, and we really like that.
What do you guys think of Freddy versus Jason?
I don't like it as a Friday the 13th movie, but I do like it as a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, if that makes sense to you.
I do get what you're saying. I would say I love it as either, but I love it as its own film. I absolutely adore that film. I think it is loaded with atmosphere and great cinematography and lighting. The red, blue, and green lighting we get throughout that whole movie is just fantastic. And I think it feels like a Halloween film, not Halloween franchise, but like Halloween.
Yeah,
like it feels like something you watch on Halloween, and you can get away with it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's not my least favorite, but it's not one of my tops either. Like I like a lot of things about it. I like the final girl. I liked her a bunch. She was really cool.
Yeah, she was good in that. Lori, she was good.
I don't like the whole Jason being afraid of water thing was ridiculous.
Well, I kind of forgive it because he was in Freddy's world, and Freddy messes with your psyche and plays on your fear and plays on your fear. And Jason had drowned as a kid. That's how he became Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
So they thought it was cool that like he was making Jason tap into his like, most internalized in the back of his head fear, and it was in a Freddy dream in his world. So for that reason, I forgive that. If it was like real life, I'd be like, eh. But then you literally see Jason go into a lake and still fuck shit up. So I was like, all right, this is cool.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I liked it a lot better when it came out than I do now. When we got to that, when we reviewed that one, I thought I was going to like it a lot more, and then when we watched it, I was like, this has got a lot of problems.
You graded it higher than I did because I can't stand Ronnie Yu. So
yeah, Ronnie Yu.
Oh, I love him because Bride of Chucky. I love that movie.
Oh, that movie's great. But
Wow.
he did some things during the course of making Freddy versus Jason that we didn't like. Where he was trying to force what's her name to do the nude scene, and there was some
Catherine Isabel.
Yeah, there was some things that
Oh, that's not cool.
questionable choices.
You
He
don't
tried
do
to.
that.
He basically, long story short, tried to bully her into doing a nude scene that she didn't want to do.
So I'm just gonna say that I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I'm actually, that's gross and
Yeah.
predatory. So Catherine Isabel, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. If you ever hear this, that's horrible. Ronnie Yu, shame on you. It's when you have a bunch of talent and shitty character, that's really sad to me.
Yeah.
So if that's true, that's gross.
It's out there.
Or did she end up doing it?
It's out there. So
did she have a body double, or did she end up doing it?
She ended up having a body double.
Body double.
Well, good, first of all, and
she stuck to her guns.
Yeah.
That's no good, as she should. That is so trash. You don't do that to a person. I would never. Oh my god, that's awful.
And she had a non-nudity clause in her contract too, so it's not like she backed out of doing anything.
Yeah, and even with Pretty Face, for example, like we have the makeout scene in the beginning. Like you got to make sure people are comfortable and okay with what you're asking them to do, and if they're not, like you got to figure it out. You can't just be like, well, do you want to be a star? So yeah,
no doubt, dude. That's what's going on.
That's like some Weinstein shit.
Yeah, I don't respect that at all as a filmmaker and as a friend and an ally to women. Like you don't treat people like that. That's just
no.
and
Don't treat anyone
and predatory and greedy, and I could go on, but let's not make this about negative bullshit.
Yeah, for sure.
But you guys get it. You get how I feel.
Right on. I think you pretty much answered all my questions. You got anything, Ryan? Well,
basically, you answered the things I asked, mostly about the music. I was just so curious about because it really drew me in right away. It gave me the Halloween feel, and I just really enjoyed the score.
Seriously, thank you so much. That is, again, like my composer did it. I didn't do it. Like I don't have that. I don't possess that talent to make a score. That's
neither do I.
Really, really, really fantastic, hardworking guy. Knew what I wanted from the jump, hit the nail on the head. I think like one note for him was like, make that piano a synth and then add a and that was like my whole note for him.
Well, sometimes that's enough though, you just give him that little bit of direction.
Yep.
And
he nailed it. He literally nailed it. You guys are making me want to go play the Pretty Face theme out loud.
You get funded for a feature, or when you do, because I think you will. Definitely bring him back.
Oh my God! Ray. If you see this, you watching this, you're stuck with us. If you think you're getting away, there's going to be murder on the dance floor. Because no. So yeah, I really, really, really am proud of that score so much. And everything, everything about it, everyone in it, really just fantastic team. I know I name dropped a few people because it came up in the podcast, the subject of what it was, but I'm not even going to name drop anybody else because I'd be afraid to miss even just one person if I name dropped intentionally. So, I mean, everybody knows what a part of it they were and how much they helped. Pretty Face really was a testament to, it really does take a whole fucking village. Like, the smallest thing is actually the hugest thing. And I really, really think that everybody just really came through and showed up and showed out and gave their 110%, 110% of the time and just pulled their weight. And it really shows, in the final product. I want to ask you guys, I have two questions.
Sure.
What is your favorite kill in Pretty Face?
The eyeball.
The first
eyeball deal,
yeah.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, probably is, yeah.
Yeah.
Right off the rip, whoa, hello.
It wasn't really well. It led to a kill in the beginning when the couple are in the car and the guy goes to take a piss and it's like you better be dead.
Yeah, I like that line.
It was.
Yeah, I mean,
that line popped me.
It's so funny.
What's taking you so long? You better be dead.
I was somewhat unsure about the eyeball thing, but I've gotten enough good feedback on it where I'm like, all right. And it is over the top and not super realistic, but I think it fits with the campiness of the film.
Yeah. Well, the 80s slasher vibes that you were going for.
Yes,
sure.
And it's that you better be dead. A lot of the lines, I think I might have come up with that one, but like so many of the lines in that scene particularly are ad-libbed. My script supervisor, Michael DeMatteis, brilliant dude, great writer. He's the unofficial Demo if you want to follow his Instagram. He came up with, like, we had a whole kind of exchange in the makeout scene, and it was like, well, do you want to, like, are we just messing around? But he was like, nah, let's cut that and make it short and sweet. You say you have to, he says he has to pee, and then you look at him like a total fuckboy and say, well, hurry back before I go limp. And that was him. And it worked, and people have brought up how funny it is. So, yeah.
That was good stuff. You know what? Another thing I wanted to talk about, that little trilogy Halloween fan film thing you were involved with. That was really good stuff. Your name's on it.
Halloween Aftermath?
No, not that. I didn't get a chance to watch that. It was like 3 little 10-minute shorts, and you're listed as a producer on it. And somebody with your last name is listed as young Michael Myers. I think.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Chris Notarilli's the Myers, the Butcher of Haddonfield.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Chris Notarilli.
I shared the first part on my page.
Yes.
And then I found the second and third part because I didn't know there was one. And really good stuff.
So yeah, shout out to Chris Notarilli. He is an incredible filmmaker. If you haven't watched it's not a slasher film, it's a basher film because he uses hammers. It's called Methodic.
Methodic.
I believe Amazon Prime. It's really, really cool. I would absolutely go check out Methodic. Methoddic. Yeah.
That's the way I spelled it.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's, I just want to make sure that it was, it was clear and all that. But Chris is fantastic. I was like, oh my God, I was like 13 or 14 looking up Halloween fan films on YouTube, as I did and still do. And I watched his fan film Halloween Season, and I just thought it was so simple and well done and what a Halloween fan film should be, because it was like the Shape just going after people because he wants to. Mm-hmm. And I messaged him on Facebook, and I was like, hey, dude, I'm a huge fan of your Halloween fan film and the other ones that I've discovered through that. I loved Halloween Season. I'd love to work with you if you ever need anybody for a film. And this guy got back to me, and I was like, oh, my God. My little 13-year-old self geeked out. And he was like, I actually need a kid to look like 6-year-old Michael Myers for a flashback film I'm doing called Myers, Rise of the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
And I was like, my little brother Vincent is literally 10 and looks 6 and looks like Michael Myers. They have the same haircut as Will Sandon when he was 6 and he did the 78. And he was like, all right. So I asked my brother about it. He was like, sure, that sounds cool. And he's actually a really good actor, a really good kid actor. So he was good.
He was really good in it.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was you, and then I looked at it again. I was like, oh no, that doesn't say Francesco. So that's probably like a little brother or something.
It is my little brother, and my parents drove us to Cranford, New Jersey, and we shot it. I think it was over 6 hours, maybe even less, because Chris gets shit done I've ever seen, no one I've ever seen, and he put it on YouTube, and it was absolutely such a great job, and I was just enamored by how well the atmosphere was done, and it was like a perfect little prequel to Halloween 1963. And then he came out more recently after this trilogy with Myers, the Butcher of Haddonfield, the Monster of Haddonfield, and the Nightmare of Haddonfield, I think.
Oh, there's 4 total?
It's either 4 or 5.
I only found 3.
Go on Chris's YouTube, Blinky 500 YouTube list, and check out the Myers playlist, because I mean he kills all of them. He kills it every time.
Hell yeah!
Awesome job.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all I got for you. Like I said, you got anything else, Ryan?
before we cut loose, why don't you tell our followers where they can follow you?
Oh yeah, I always forget that part.
Yes. So the official Pretty Face Instagram is at one word at Pretty Face Slasher. So please follow that Instagram. Tell your friends to follow. Tell their friends. Shout us out at Pretty Face Slasher. And my personal Instagram is at Francesco _Pretty Face. So give me a follow. Check me out. Tell me that I'm funny and I look good on all my posts, and that you love Pretty Face. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. Is I'm really more active on Instagram. So please.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm hardly ever on Instagram. But I'm gonna follow you over there. Oh, Ryan dropped out. Something happened to him, but we'll see what happened to him in a minute.
Did Pretty Face get him?
Pretty Face might have got him. But again, man, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on. We've been going for about a little over an hour. We usually only go for about an hour. But yeah, it was a great conversation. Really enjoyed talking to you. And as soon as you guys start the Indiegogo, you let me know. I'm gonna put it all over my page, and me and Ryan will donate to it, and all of our friends will, because I got to see what happens next. I think he's back now. I got to see what happens next with Pretty Face. We thought Pretty Face got you.
Yeah,
we did, but you got out. You made it
for now. So I get to survive till the sequel. Is that what you're saying?
That's it. That's
maybe. Hey, please don't kill me, Mr. Pretty Face. I want to be in the sequel.
All right, Francesco, but I'm going to get you out of here. Thanks again for coming on, man. And this will be up on iTunes probably tomorrow. Tomorrow. Like, it's like 3 clicks of a button to make that happen. And I'll probably be able to do that tonight. But it's on YouTube right now because it's live, and Facebook. And thanks, man. Thanks for coming on, man. Definitely. It was really a good time having you on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Please send me a link to your YouTube channel, because I don't know if I've subscribed yet. So I have to do that.
Okay, I will do that. Yeah. Awesome, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Seriously, it was an honor to be on. I will talk Pretty Face and horror till I'm fucking blue in the face. So thank you guys so much. You guys have been absolutely fantastic and wonderful to talk to. So.
Right on, man. And we'll have you back on as soon as you get the Indiegogo going. We'll pump that out, and we're definitely going to donate to that as soon as it's open.
Thank you so much. Seriously, that means the world. Thank you, guys, and stay pretty and stay scared.
All right, brother. All righty then. Oh, what are you doing back there? You got fireworks and shit. What the fuck?
It worked. My double thumbs up little thing.
Oh yeah, when you did. Oh yeah.
You like that?
Donald found that on he was on here when we were trying to do the wrestling thing.
Yeah.
And he did a thumbs up or something, and it did something on the screen. He was like, "What the hell?" Oh yeah, it was cool. Fireworks. That was pretty cool, man. It was a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Hardly any of our regulars could make it tonight. Probably a different night, and it threw them off. But
yeah, Tuesdays are not Thursdays.
Yeah. I mean, you're just used to the same thing at the same time. When you're preempted, but this is the time he had because his regular shoot job kept him away from doing Thursdays. But yeah, it was really good talking to that guy, man. It was really sweet. Yeah. But let's see. So Thursday, we're doing lots of podcasting this week. We're podcasting our asses off. Mm-hmm. We did this. Thursday, we're gonna come back with Jason X. Sunday at 8:00 our time. 7:00 their time, because they're on Central Time.
Yeah, they are.
We're gonna be recording with Nina, who was here for a second. Nina.
Well, two of them are on Central Time. One of them, I believe, is on Mountain Time.
Oh well, one of them's in Arizona, so their time's different than the rest of the country, depending on because they're the only ones that don't do the stupid daylight savings time. So sometimes it's this time and sometimes it's that time. Yeah, that's where Jamie's in Arizona and the other two are in Chicago.
Right.
We have Ohio TerraCon August 16th and 17th. It's not too far away. Make sure you guys get your passes for that. And just so you know, Zach never took down the discount code. So Big Bob still works to give you a discount. I don't remember how much of a discount, but it was significant because I grabbed some tickets for our friends on Bloody Essentials. And I was just thinking, like, let me pop in this Big Bob code and see if it still works, and it did. So we got them covered for that. But yeah, so if you guys are wanting to come out for that, please come out and see us. It's going to be fun. Gonna be gonna be a blast, man. I still don't know how we're gonna do what we're gonna do.
Oh, I got
But-
ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the whole recording of it and
Yeah.
shit.
Well,
I might have to sit one of the kids there with a fucking iPhone, but we'll get it done.
it's gonna. Yeah. Well,
I still got the laptop, so we can take that if we need it. I don't know if we're gonna have microphones there.
no,
I'll get like a PA system. I can borrow that from somebody, I'm sure.
I have one.
Oh, okay. You know, we'll figure it out.
See, we don't get too inside baseball in here, but Rick does most of the work on this show. I just show up and talk pretty much. However, I have a feeling when it comes to live performance, those roles will probably reverse a little.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I have never done anything, and you
Right.
have toured
Right.
and played in front of people. Yeah,
Yeah.
I told Nina. I said, if I get you these tickets, you no matter what you're doing at this con, you have to be there for our live thing, so we can at least pretend. If nobody else shows up, we'll at least have you three there. So we're not talking to the wall.
No,
But-
we're local. Some of our local people better show up and show
Yeah, they
out.
better, goddammit. You know what? I've been going to concerts and buying T-shirts and all this shit for fucking 40 years. It's time to pay me back, guys. It's time to pay me back. Show up. Just come into the room. Pretend you give a fuck about what we're talking about. Should be fun though, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I just don't know how it's just gonna go. We'll figure it out.
Oh, it's gonna go.
It's gonna go.
Yeah.
And hopefully it goes good and we can do it again and again and again. And
Yeah.
that'll be sweet.
So I just thought about too. We're taping. Well, we already did one. We're doing another live one and taping one on Sunday. Dude, we keep doing podcasts and didn't you just do an appearance last night?
Did I?
Did you? No.
I don't even know what last night was. I was just listening last night.
Oh,
That
it's
was
a
a
Death
couple
Curse.
weeks ago. Like a week or two ago, I was on Death Curse Society.
You keep doing that many shows in a week, man. You start calling you fucking Conrad Thompson around.
Right? I know, no doubt, right? Oh, you know what I wanted to do today? Is I didn't get time to plan it, but I want to do a run-in on the kids podcast since I still control the podcast.
Yeah, might as well. You're on 7 of them already in a week.
Since they go live on Wednesday, they'll just get a notification that they're going live on a different day, you know, whatever it is. And I'm gonna make, if I can get Eric to do anything, you know, it's how hard that is. Do the whole Day Enchilada Wrestling podcast logo, but spray paint the NWO over it, and come in with the NWO music, and we're taking over. That'd be hilarious.
I need a bandana and a toothpick.
Yeah, something, man.
Right at the string.
Too sweet. Yeah, it could be fun. Tonight at 9:10 on the Facebook and YouTube, I just got a notification here. Where to go? I have a live video scheduled to begin at 9:10. Haunted Hour. Jared and Terry Haggerty are going to be on there for Halloween 365. So go on and support them if anybody is listening to the sound of my voice at this moment. I got an alarm set, so I'll make sure to go on. I was going to go back out. I was going to go watch Dirty Dancing at the drive-in tonight. But I didn't work enough to make enough money to go to see Dirty Dancing. By the way, I don't know if you've seen, but this is the shirt that you got.
Yeah,
I have one for you over here.
Oh, I got, yeah.
Really sweet. I like this the coffin dummy Jason over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they knocked it out of the park. I think this was Gutter Garbs.
I like
Might have been Fright
it on
Rags.
screen. I'm sure in person it will look even better.
Yeah, no, they're sweet, man. I got that, and a Fulci shirt and a Toxic Avengers shirt that I figured I'd wear to one day of the con since the cast of Toxic Avengers is going to be there.
Yeah.
The Fulci shirt was awesome. What did I see? I was watching. Today's the anniversary of The Thing. Did you know that?
No.
It is. I don't know how many years because I don't feel like doing the math, but
Is it 1982?
yeah, I think so. So was that 42?
Yeah.
All right. I added some numbers up. Good. But I got the 4K because I ordered the 4K and I was like, I wanted to watch it just as a refresher for our remake show we're going to be doing with the Bloody Essentials. I am not going to refresh the fog, though. I'm not doing that. But like an excuse to watch the thing again. Oh, twist the arm. So I threw that in it. Man, that 4K scan is amazing.
There's only one on the list of all the ones. I won't say what everybody said, but I need to watch still, and I have 5 days to do it. So
right on.
I'm like,
Well, I don't think anything's secret, because it's all going to be on there. But
I know.
But
I'm like,
House of Wax, I watched. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I've seen it already.
That really surprised me.
I watched it out of morbid curiosity when it was new, just because Paris Hilton was in it, and I'm like,
she wasn't
really?
bad. She wasn't bad. It wasn't great. She wasn't great, but the movie was really cool, man. I really liked it. I liked her other movie better.
What's her other movie?
I believe it was called One Night in Paris.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was a better performance.
Oh, that was Rick Solomon, my boy.
That guy got all kinds of fun stuff, huh?
I'll tell you the story another time, but I met him once.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it on film.
Okay, there you go.
No, he was great. He was awesome. I'll say that though. So there's no like weird. No, he was very cool. But yeah.
Charles Sherrod commented, "Call me Commander." I don't get it. Am I supposed to get it? I don't get it, Charles. I know he posted something in the chat for his show about Cobra Commander. That might be something to do with that. He's going to be doing on Thursday, because he's taking off for 4th of July as well. He's going to be doing on Thursday a couple Tales from the Crypts episodes. He did Creep Show last week. This guy's getting 42,000 he got the other day. 42,000. We're lucky to get 200.
42,000.
You got 42,000 views.
God damn.
Yeah. This guy's doing big things, man.
That's
on
awesome.
the Rumble app.
Yeah.
So I think we got to figure out how to get on that Rumble thing. I got an account there, so I might have to stream there too.
I can't even get success on the Bumble app.
The Bumble
app. He's on Rumble, killing it.
Rumble, Bumble, rumbling, bubbling, stumbling. Oh man. Right on. So yeah, we've been yakking for an hour and 20 minutes. I don't have to go to work, but I'm gonna get out of here. And
yeah, I'm gonna eat dinner at super late and then go to bed super early and go to work super early again because my fucking inventory is on Thursday. God damn it! I'm still gonna show up and do the podcast. I don't even know yet. I'm gonna go out and get something.
Oh, right on.
I might just order Thai food up the street and pick it up.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Place is great too. Next time you're out this way, I'll take you there.
Yeah, sounds good. So anything else you want to add tonight?
Yeah, thanks to Francesco for popping on tonight, and thanks for everybody for tuning in on a special night. We did give like a week notice, but I get it's Tuesday. It's not habitual for us to be out on a Tuesday, which, funny enough, that's usually my busiest day at work. Today it happens to be, or this week it happens to be Thursday, of course. So, but yeah, good night, everyone, and we'll see you in 2 days where we talk about Jason X. And there goes the neighborhood.